Are we rolling? Let's see here. I'm going to stop sharing. Okay, we're recording. Good. All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, hello everybody. Welcome to another session of Sour Chatter. I apologize, it's been a little while. I feel like the last 90 days for me have been a blur. We're starting to settle down. But we're pumped to see you again. Glad for you to be watching. And I got a very good friend of mine, special guest StacyLutz with us. And we're going to learn about her today. But real quick, as always, big shout out to my buddy Justin Severson for letting us use Sour Chatter here in Cincinnati. I will include in the details of this how to see his post around Sour Chatter. Make sure to go over there and view that. But again, I'm Todd McGork. I work for Paylocity. We build all of our own payroll and HR software. So if you're evaluating payroll and HR, not crazy about your current vendor, or just want to know what's out there, I would love to meet with you. But this isn't about me. This is about Stacy. So I definitely want to introduce Stacy to you now. Stacy, how are you today?
Hey, Todd.
It's good to see you. Good to see
you. Thanks for having me.
How long have we known each other now? Couple of years?
Couple of years, like 3.
Yeah, couple of 3 years. Yep. Well, it's been good. Last time I saw you, we were both at a great restaurant.
Soto.
And, what was that? We happened to pass by your booth.
Yeah.
What was that restaurant?
Soto in downtown.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That was my first time there. I loved it.
I haven't been there in years, but normally you have to put your name on the list like weeks in advance. But due to COVID, we were like, let's see if they have a table tonight. And they did. So
I'm not even an Italian fan, and the food was amazing.
It was awesome. Yeah.
It was good. All right. So Stacy, we're going to learn a little bit about you. Again, if you've watched Sour Chatter before, we're going to quiz Stacy, learn a lot from her, hear some funny things from her. But she's going to do so while eating candy. It's really sour candy. So let's get that first one going now. So round 1, we're going to do 1 sour candy. All right. Or you could do 2 sour candies, whatever you prefer.
I haven't tried them yet, so I'm just going to do 1.
They're good. If you like Starburst, they're sour Starburst. I think a little more. Okay, here we go. So pop it in there. And Stacy, tell us something about yourself. We want to learn about you real quick. Who are you?
So this is way more sour than you said. Okay.
I love it. My kids love these.
Yeah. I'm StacyLutz. I work for a company called HR Elements. I've been in HR for about 8 years. Just graduated from Xavier University with my human resources development master's degree.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. You're doing good. You're not drooling, so that's a win.
It's like it keeps.
I know.
Coming.
It keeps on giving. It's great. So where do you work, Stacy?
HR Elements. So
what do you guys do at HR Elements?
HR Elements is it's a consulting firm, HR consultant firm. So they have advisors who come in and do scalable outsourced HR, basically at just different companies around the tri-state. So they're in Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana.
Nice. Now, what do you love about HR Elements? I mean, we know them well. Tina Taylor's a great friend of ours, a partner here in the city. We're big fans. But what do you love about HR Elements?
They're big fans of Paylocity. So I love that they're a woman-owned company. It's still like I can't swallow it yet. They're woman-owned, and also all my colleagues are women. It just so happens to be that way. It's not like on purpose or anything, but I love the vibe. I like how everyone really gets along with each other, really helps each other out, they're just great. Everybody's great. So
yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Yep. I feel the same way. Fantastic company. A great value to the city and beyond. So, all right. You just got down with that 1 candy. Let's go to 2 candies. So now you're going to pop 2 in. All right.
How did you know I was done with it?
Because I can tell. You're like me. Like when you're eating something sour, your face kind of moves a little bit, your eyes squint, and that's what I do too. So you're kind of past that. So now it's time for candies. Let's go.
I feel like really quick, I have to say something else about Tina too, because I talked to her earlier on the phone today, and she's just a really savvy businesswoman. And like anytime that I've talked to people who are in the HR realm, including yourself, like they know who she is and that she's very business savvy and kind of always has her finger on the pulse of what's going on in Cincinnati. So I like that.
Agreed.
All right, I'm gonna put them both in there.
Yeah, you got 2 going in now.
Wow.
All right. So today, you've got 8 years of HR experience, tons to share, but we're going to just talk about one topic today. And especially in light of COVID, a lot of companies are working through this working remotely. Got a ton of advantages, and it can have some challenges. And so, HR elements and you're serving hundreds of companies around Cincinnati, Indiana, Kentucky, throughout Ohio. What are you seeing around working remotely? Tell us, what it is, and maybe give us some things that we can do on our end to better utilize working remotely and it not be a negative for us.
Okay. So working remotely used to be like this perk. I remember literally until this year, it was something that only, higher level executives could even imagine doing. And it was this like, oh, flexible work arrangements, like it's part of a package. Like we're adding on, like on Fridays, you can work from home. And now it's not really a choice because of COVID. I feel like I'm gonna start slobbering.
You're doing great. I really am hoping you slobber, but go ahead. You're doing great.
I need a bib. So now it's not really a choice. And there's a lot of employees who are used to that face-to-face interaction, me being one of them. I went yesterday to present for a summit for NKU, not in person. It was a online experience. And the guy that I presented with, he loves working from home. And he was like, this is the best thing. I get up at 7:45 and I start at 8. And he's like, everybody's on time to their meetings because they're already sitting there. And he usually has to drive all around the tri-state.
Yeah.
He's like, I save like 8 hours a week in drive time, which you may be familiar with that too, Todd, with your, it's like stuck on one side of the mouth.
I'm doing great. You're doing great.
So anyways, it's a different unprecedented time with like working from home. I think one really important thing is to communicate with the employees. That helps a lot. One, with the ones that may need more direction or the ones that are really accountable but just need to be engaged,
Yeah.
I think that helps. And also, like I said, just communication. I know there's a lot of companies who, I was just talking with somebody earlier today, and they're like, yeah, well, we're supposed to be going back on January 1st. And I'm like, I doubt it, but it's like the sooner that a company lets people know, they can kind of plan for that, plan childcare, just everything. I mean, the reasons are obvious. Yeah.
Yep. Now, one of the things you had mentioned when we were talking is even that value on coronavirus check-in, right? So kind of getting a gauge on how people are from a health standpoint remotely.
Yeah. Well, another thing is that it's affecting different people in different ways. There are some people who have lost loved ones. And like, I think it's really important to do a coronavirus check-in, for example, just like how actually is everyone doing? Because everyone's going through a different experience and experiencing this through a different lens. One thing I think, even from a compliance standpoint, doing a coronavirus check-in would be to say, like, how comfortable are you, to gauge people's comfortability with going into the office? Because some people may really, not be comfortable at all. And some people are like, I can only really complete my my work if I go in at least a couple of times a week, or maybe even full time. There are still places that obviously are working from their office. So.
Sure. That's good. And then I think you touched on the first thing when you said communication. Then you talked about coronavirus check-ins. How about like even another level of employee engagement, like even around morale, right? How to keep things fun, human, continue to foster those interpersonal relationships in the workplace, even though they may not see each other for weeks or months.
Yeah. So another thing that can be a morale booster would be to do like a Zoom happy hour, or even just a powwow. It doesn't have to necessarily be called a happy hour, but just like a check-in where employees can see each other and their managers and can just talk about, just because we're used to having that interaction when you pop in the morning, morning on your way to your desk, it's just as much time, probably those little 4 minutes every morning on your way, as it would be if you say, hey, let's just all catch up at one time. Let's do it twice a month. If you can't make it, no big deal, but it'll just be right after work hours, or like maybe even the last half hour. I think that probably would boost morale and keep engagement kind of flowing, just so people can stay in the loop with each other.
Yeah.
So
that's good advice. I know Paylocity, we're doing things like that constantly. And you kind of feel, it was funny because like, sometimes I'm like, I don't need that. But then I'll get on it and I'm like, I'm so glad I did that.
Yeah.
I didn't think I needed it because I've been used to being without it. But just being a part of it, like how much I miss some of these people.
Yes. Yeah. Knowing you, I can definitely see, because you're an extrovert. Yeah. So you're fueled by talking and being, not talking in general, talking in person and being in, someone else's presence and like having those one-on-one face-to-face conversations. And if that's what fuels you, imagine how draining it would be if you sat at your desk and we're like all day,
I just bought one of those desks you like lift up, and just because I've got to be dancing around while I work. So sitting like down 8 hours is killing me.
What'd you say?
I said sitting down 8 hours a day is killing me. So
I bet.
Yeah. Well, that's good information. Okay, let's go third round. This is the fun round. So Stacy and I have talked about some of these questions beforehand. She has none of these questions I'm about to ask her. So we're going to get the raw, unfiltered, unthought through, real-time answer on these questions. But you've got 3 candies, and if I'm not mistaken, you opened 7. So you could go for 4 candies right now. You could.
I could, but am I going to?
I don't know. You just don't choke. That's all I ask.
At least someone would know about it. And
that's true. I'd be like, hey, somebody.
Right.
Stacy's choking. All righty.
You got my back, Todd.
Pop them in.
Okay.
2.
That's the third one.
3. All right, here we go. First question, and this is always
I think I should do 4.
Go for, do it. Let's go. They're pretty tasty, aren't they?
Oh, okay.
All right, here we go. Most embarrassing professional moment. Most embarrassing professional moment. If you don't have one, we could go to personal, right? Start with the professional, most embarrassing one.
I can't think of anything about embarrassing person.
All right. Nothing happened one time when you were out with friends or traveling or in school that you're like, how about personal? You fell down the stairs in front of a cute guy, or you went to class with toilet paper hanging off your shoe. I mean, nothing.
This is like taking up my whole mouth. No, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Hold on.
This could be your most embarrassing professional moment for Candy's trying to answer these questions.
I'll be like, one time.
Here we go. I got one for you. You got 3 guys. Justin Bieber, Harry Styles, Zac Efron. Which one?
Zac Efron for sure, but
Really, he has got like 28
listen,
abs.
yeah, no, it's funny because there's a meme that's like, thanks to Zac Efron for being my type when I was 12 and being my type now. And it was him on High School Musical, and then it was him now with like the beard and everything.
Yeah.
But no, Harry Styles was the first male
Yeah.
to be on the cover of Vogue like 2 days ago.
I read something about that. Yeah, I read something about that. And you're into fashion. I knew that about you, right? That's what I thought. You're doing okay over there?
I like want to know if you're gonna pay my dentist bill because my
or
teeth
we're
are
gonna give that one to Tina Taylor because you're on the clock technically. How about this special talent?
I can play the guitar.
I
can.
No, I can't.
have 2 guitars.
No, I believe you. It was the way you said that. You're like, I don't know.
Like, I'm pretty good at it.
Are you really good?
Yeah, seriously.
Wow. Play us a song.
No, that would be my most embarrassing moment.
Okay, in that theme, favorite 90s jam. Because I was doing math in my head. I'm like, she was growing up in the 90s. Am I right on that? Late 90s?
I'm 30. I was born in 1990.
So you're early 2000s. That'd be your high school years, right? 2000s?
No, I love 90s music.
Okay, favorite 90s. Favorite 90s song. Give me one of them.
I mean, like all of it. Do you remember that song, She Likes Me for Me by Hey Leonardo?
No.
That's the first song. Is She Likes Me for Me, not because.
Yes. That was a good one. That was a good one. All right. How about this? Weirdest place you've ever vomited?
Oh. Have you ever been to Keeneland?
To where?
Have you ever been to Keeneland? The horse racing track?
No, never been.
Are you
I'm
from
new
Cincinnati?
to Ohio. I'm from Atlanta. I'm from Charleston, South Carolina. I'm new to this whole Midwest thing.
Okay. There was a summer. As soon as COVID's over, you got to go to Keeneland. It's a horse racing track.
Okay.
It's like 2.5 hours away. It's in Lexington, Kentucky. Anyways, long story short, I just thought of a funny story. It's not embarrassing, but it's a funny story.
Okay, go.
We're all at Keeneland, and this was like years ago. It was like 6 years ago. So it's like my college friends. We're all drinking on the way to the bus. I don't know if I can even talk about that. Anyways.
No, you're too far in. You got to tell us. Go ahead.
Okay. On the Keeneland bus, you are allowed to drink. Like, it's like legal, like you're allowed. I don't know how this works, but I'm pretty sure you're allowed.
But you're under 21. Never mind. We'll keep going.
So, okay. So we're on our way and everybody's, having a good time, whatever. They like get out and there's like lunch. Like they put out tables, there's lunch, we got coolers, we got stuff, whatever. And you do all that before you go into Keeneland. So we're all having like a blast. We go into Keeneland where like you drink more and you watch horse races and everybody kind of like loses each other. You just know what time you got to be back at the bus. So you already know where this is going.
Yeah.
So everybody's back at the bus somehow, except me. And I'm like, where's my bus? Not only is my bus not there, like none of the people is like answering their phone. And I'm like, guys, like, where'd you guys go? And I'm like, should I call my mom? I'm just like, I don't know what to do right now. So long story short, it actually all worked out because I get back to the bus. No one answered because they're sleeping because everyone was like, at that point, we left like 10 hours before that. And I'm like, wait a minute, why is this bus still here? And not only that, why is it the only bus left? Our bus was the only bus in the Keeneland parking lot out of like actually thousands of cars and buses. It was the only thing like left there. And I'm like talking to the bus driver and I'm like, what's going on? Like everyone's like sleeping. And he's like, yeah, I had to call a bus from Columbus because this one broke down. So mind you, we're in Lexington trying to get to Cincinnati. The bus is coming from Columbus to
Wow.
like pick us up, passing Cincinnati, coming to get us. So then even after that, I had to wait for like 4 more hours. Just a fun story. You got to go to Keeneland.
Yeah, I have to. I must go to Keeneland because I've never heard of it even.
That started because you asked what's the weirdest place you've thrown up.
All right, I've got one more for you.
Okay.
The most amount of days since COVID-19 started where you did not brush your teeth.
Like 0, maybe
Really?
like 1. And that might have been on accident. No way. What?
I went like 3 or 4 where my wife's like, if you don't stop breathing on me, you're going to have to live somewhere else. Yeah. Okay. So you've got
a Todd thing. That might have to be a Todd thing. Ask your wife. She's going to be like 0.
You definitely have better hygiene than I do. Stacy, it was great to hang out with you. Thanks for the time today.
You too, Todd.
Thank you for like sharing your knowledge on working remotely. Listen, if you don't follow Stacy on LinkedIn, I'll provide her information in the description of this video as well. Get to know her. She's awesome. She's got a lot to share with you. And if you need some help in HR, think HR Elements and Tina Taylor. And Stacy may be one of those people that get to work with you. So have a great day. Great to, yes, thank you, Stacy. Thanks for joining us.
About the dentist thing.
Yes, send me the bill and send it to Tina. Y'all have a great day.
Thanks, Todd.
All right, let's see here. I'm going to turn this off now. Oh.